What's up guys, welcome back to the Piston Show. I'm Keshi Dylan and today we have here the Jaecoo J8. Now it's going to be an interesting day because we're actually going to be taking the Jaecoo J8 through some off-road obstacles. Now you might be wondering why off-road, because most of the time when people buy something as large as this handsome D segment J8, they're not going to take it off-roading. But this is Jaecoo that we are talking about, and they sort of do things differently. So to find out why we are taking the J8 off-roading, as you'll see later, we reached out to the Vice President of Jaecoo Malaysia, Emily Lake, to find out exactly why we are here and why they are positioning the Jaecoo J8 as an off-roader. And she had to say this: the Jaecoo brand positioning has always been and continues to be a premium off-road SUV. This is clearly exemplified with the J8, our flagship model. Beyond being a vehicle with refined design and cutting-edge technology that provides comfort for a premium lifestyle, the J8, as with all our Jaecoo vehicles, has a duality. It is both good-looking and has the capability to handle difficult off-road terrains. So, my dear viewers, this is not just a handsome SUV. As what Emily said, it has a duality. What does that mean? Well, it basically has dual characters. Like, it's nice to drive on road, and as what we are about to find out soon, it has some proper off-roading character as well. But before we go off-roading, just a quick recap of what the Jaecoo J8 has to offer. So there are two variants. This, the all-wheel drive, which comes with 6 seats and is priced at 198,800 ringgit, and that, the two-wheel drive, which comes with a bench seat at the back, effectively making it a 7-seater, and that is priced at 178,800 ringgit. I know there's not much to see over here, but powering the Jaecoo J8, both the all-wheel drive and the two-wheel drive share the same 2-litre 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, making 249 PS and 385 Newton meters of torque sent to the wheels through a 7-speed transmission. Of course, depending on whether the power is sent to all 4 wheels or just 2 wheels, depends on the variant. Now, the real nice thing about the Jaecoo J8 is obviously its interior. And this is where there's a lot of difference between the all-wheel drive and the two-wheel drive models. Now, this is the all-wheel drive version. I am sitting in a car that offers full leather. Now, this is proper leather, not one of those faux leather things. And besides that, there's also real wood trimming. On top of that, check this out. This is all really expensive, suede-like finishing everywhere, all for a car that is priced at just 198,800 ringgit. This is a car that's really, really nice. On top of that, you also get this soft touch materials over here. This is really nice. You get proper stitching. This is the wood trimming I was telling you a little bit about earlier. Look at how elegant the air conditioning vents look like. You get charge pads over here, some storage spots over here, cup holders to be exact. And this has this crystal-like effect. Very cool, looks very expensive. You get more storage spots over here, and this ultra-large curved display. Curved displays seem to be all the rage these days, but the Jaecoo J8 just seems to pull it off very naturally. But the real star of the show for the all-wheel drive version is, of course, the 6 seats. And particularly the captain seats in the second row. Now this is very comfortable. You should, if you ever get a chance to sit in one of these, just keep a feel out for how comfortable the leather is. It's just so soft and plush. Well, you get column mounted air conditioning vents, you get a speaker up here and at the bottom here as part of the 14 speakers Sony sound system. And the cool thing is, you also get electronic adjustability with memory function for the second row seats. Memory function for the second row seats. Now, here's a challenge. Name me one car in Malaysia that has memory function in the second row seats. My mind goes to a Moda C9, but I don't think so. Let me know in the comment section below. This, though, is the two-wheel drive version. And if you compare them side by side, you'll be hard done to tell the difference. But there are small visual cues, such as the fact that even though they both run on 20-inch wheels, the all-wheel drive version comes wrapped with Michelin tires, whereas this is shod with Maxxis tires. And on top of that, one of the key visual distinguishing factors is the paint job. Now, the all-wheel drive version comes with a dual-tone paint job, whereas this, as you can see, comes in a singular paint job, whereas this area over here looks like it's floating. Some call it the floating roofline. Now, on top of that, there are other key differences inside. So let's step in. So, even though the interior may look the same, but if you start to touch and feel, you'll notice a few key differences, such as the fact that you don't get suede finishing for the roofline at the top, and this comes in this beige color, whereas the all-wheel drive comes in black. And even though you get this very soft finishing, just as you did with the all-wheel drive version, you also get this ultra premium stitching, but this is not real wood. And what's not real is also the leather. This is faux leather, whereas in the all-wheel drive, you get premium, proper, real leather. The other thing is, in this car, you get a 12-speaker Sony sound system. But there's one other key difference. Let's go behind. This, my friends, is where the difference truly lies. Here, you get a bench seat, whereas in the all-wheel drive, as I've shown you earlier, you get individual captain seats. Whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing depends on your needs. Well, it depends on how many people you have in your family, what your needs are and such. Because ultimately, if all you need is space, this is very good. It's very proper. And I really like the fact that both variants come with column-mounted air conditioning vents. So you get air conditioning vents at the bottom here, as well as on the column over here. But remember, the captain seats came with memory function. This, well, you can adjust them, but you're gonna have to do it manually. On top of that, this is same old, same old. But there's one other key distinguishing factor between these two models. Remember how I said it depends on your needs and wants? Because the two-wheel drive version is a strict 5-seater, whereas in the all-wheel drive version, that is a 6-seater. You also get seats in the third row as well, whereas in the two-wheel drive, you get this massive boot space. You know, one other thing that I really like about Jaecoo Omoda Cherry products is that almost all of them come with a full-size tire. All except for the hybrids, of course, because you need space for the batteries and such. Now though, we can go off-roading. So let's go. Alright guys, so let's go find out about the off-roading capability of the Jaecoo J8 all-wheel drive. So I have an instructor in here who's a dear friend of mine, but who doesn't want to show his face. So he's showing me fingers on where I need to go. So if I seem a little bit distracted, you'll forgive me. So these walkie-talkies are in the background as well. Just disregard that. Anyway, about the Jaecoo J8 all-wheel drive, obviously it comes with multiple technologies working in unison underneath the car. So I'm talking about technologies like dynamic torque vectoring control that sends traction to individual wheels that have the most amount of traction so as to pull the car out of well, slippery situations, and then on top of that you got CDC, continuous damping control, that works to adjust the suspension in 0.002 seconds. Now it took me longer to say that, but that's how fast this suspension can adjust itself. Are we going left?
Or past the coast, I mean left.
Okay. So the good thing about the Jaecoo J8, it also comes with something called a round view monitor. Okay, we're going there. And this is basically a 540 degree camera in ultra high definition. So there's stuff, sometimes when you're off-roading, there are things that you cannot see, right? But thank God for something called a round view monitor. So the Jaecoo J8 all-wheel drive also comes with 6 different driving modes, and the mode that we are in right now is called the off-road mode. Of course you have things like eco, normal, sport and such, but because we are off-roading right now, we are in off-road mode. So this is something called the
Rock crawl.
Rock crawl. So these are a bunch of very big rocks, all put here to try and stop the car, to destroy it even, but destroy it shall not. And keep in mind that we are running on low profile 20-inch Michelin tires, and the fact that it can do this is quite amazing already. So you're paying 198,800 ringgit for a luxury off-roader. Otherwise you'll have to pay somewhere above 300, over 1,000, 350,000 I think. Can we do it?
Yes, we can do this.
Side slope. So roughly about 30 degrees.
The car can take about roughly 45 degrees maximum.
Okay.
So maybe a bit more.
Okay. Higher
As you
bit.
enter, you will feel that the rear tires is lifted up.
Yeah.
And this is where torque vectoring is actually assisting you as the driver as well.
Nice. So my kahunas are not that big. Otherwise I would have gone lower. But this is actually quite something.
Okay. You have control.
Alright. Nice. So you could actually feel the wheel up in the air, and you can feel the grip being distributed, and the fact that the J8 all-wheel drive can handle something like that, it's quite something. Now this is called the log run. Now this is basically multiple pipes, concrete pipes that are placed over here, again aimed at destroying the car, but it's a J8 lah, all-wheel drive, it can handle this, can handle anything, right? And now we are going to this very intimidating slope. Okay. And this slope that we are about to do will highlight something called hill descent control. Now hill descent control is something that we have seen in multitudes of cars. Even my old Ford Ranger Wildtrak from about 8 years ago has something called hill descent control. But what makes the hill descent control different in the J8 AWD is the fact that it can also be activated going backwards. Fantastic. And this thing is simply called Big Hill. So 20-degree approach, not an issue, because the JWD actually has some really good ground clearance, and now I can, because I cannot see anything, I can actually depend on the around view monitor. Woo! Didn't do anything lah, just a bit, just gotta hold your nerves only. So guys, something called elephant steps over here, and what we're going to do over here is, at any given time there's going to be 2 wheels hanging up in the air, and what this is going to do is that it's going to demonstrate how dynamic torque vectoring control works. Because 2 wheels are stuck in the air, so you basically, these 2 wheels cannot work lah, right? Even though they're all-wheel drive, but they're going to be spinning all the time. But this is where DTVC, dynamic torque vectoring control, is going to show off how it can distribute power to individual wheels to get us out of this situation. Whoa. Okay, 2 wheels up in the air. Nice. no dramas. And what I really like about this is how you almost don't feel anything. Now, we are at Sepang Bay 13, and it's not the first time that I have been to Sepang Bay 13. I've been here to do our own shoots. I have hired this place by myself to do some of our off-road runs, and I've also been here with other car manufacturers, but this is the first time that I have been this comfortable. So what we're about to do is something called water wading, and this has a water wading capability of 450 millimeters, which if you compare it against some off-road trucks, they normally have between 750 to 800, but those are off-road machines. This is a luxury off-roader, guys. So 450 mm is quite something already, and this is just handling it like a champ. So obviously a capable off-roader, the Jaecoo J8 all-wheel drive. There are some systems that you will not get in the two-wheel drive version, such as the dynamic torque vectoring control and such. But if you want a car that can take you off-roading, maybe you have a durian plantation or an oil palm plantation and such, and you want something that can go off-roading and yet cocoon you in comfort, then the Jaecoo J8 all-wheel drive is a proper option. And at 198,800 ringgit, this is one of the most comfortable off-roaders for that money. Not only comfortable, but after what I just showed you, capable as well. Let me know what you think about the Jaecoo J8 all-wheel drive in the comment section below. Thank you guys. As usual, do consider subscribing.